Alright, hey, what's up YouTube? Marco here. I am right outside of the Lake Las Vegas Sports Club. Just going to start with some scenic views. This is going to be a continuation of the Lake Las Vegas series. It was back in late June that we ran from the entrance of Lake Las Vegas to the sports club. So if you want to see a more detailed look of the sports club, check out that video. Right now I'm about to be heading back on the path. We'll see what the street name is once I get there, but we're going to be heading back to the path where we'll eventually reach East Lake Mead Parkway. In this video, I chose to film Lake Las Vegas today because I didn't want to be talking about the stores and business hours. I wanted to kind of parlay this video into a little memorial tribute for a good college buddy of mine. His real name was Ade Olanian. Adealua Olanian. We called him All Day. That was his nickname. And I met this guy right when I got to college. We played football together, and we lived in the same dorm hall, which was called Second Lindemann, nicknamed Second Lindy. And this dorm hall, first of all, it already had like a reputation as being like super fun. From the older guys, they wanted to know who was living on Second Lindy. And myself, All Day, and some other guys, right? Pretty big floor. We were lucky enough to be living out there. And what was cool, and I just feel like this backstory is important. What was cool about living in Second Lindy was these dorm halls. They were wide, super wide hallways. They were like built for chilling in the halls, right? Sofas were in the hallway, tables, a little a Nintendo GameCube, right? Like we had stuff out in the halls. And then the bathroom situation, there was like a sink room, which was just all sinks. And then there was like a bathroom with like 2 showers and like maybe like 4 toilets. We got people playing tennis out here early in the morning. But this dorm hall was set up for good camaraderie. This is one of the few things that, not few things, but it's something that Concordia did right. I'm trying to cross because this looks like a path going towards the golf course. There's a little tennis match going on or something. But yeah, I'm gonna cross. But yeah, compared to all the other dorms that the college had, this was the only true one where you're kind of set up for what I think good friendship. You got the means to. All right, so going off of this, All Day, he was roommates with his high school friend, and these guys, cool dudes. Their room was always the room that was open. Like these guys, I'm pretty sure never slept with their door locked. They were always like down to hang out, down to watch movies. This was like definitely like the prime meeting spot was All Day's room. Even if they weren't there, even if those 2 guys weren't even home, people would still be meeting up in there, I feel like, sometimes, you know. But this was just a good testimony, I feel like, of how close, you know, we were always watching movies that night in there, playing Madden, you know, whatever. I remember, and now keep in mind, we're 18. And I remember, like, hold on, this truck's passing by. I had told all day, this is the first, I was never considering a wedding, right? But I told all day, I was like, dude, when I get married, you're gonna be at my wedding. Like, first dude that I ever said that to. Not that I was even dating anybody, right? Just like, I just knew, like, dude, when the day comes, this is a guy that's gotta be there. And he still will be. I would need like a photo for him. You know, damn near just rent out a table, you know, for photos. But yeah, so this dude, we got to play football together. He played on the defensive line. He was good. I mean, he was getting that playing time as a freshman. Pretty sure he started as a sophomore, junior, senior. Had a great career at the school. And he was a dude that, I mean, I'll tell you what, he worked hard, because this dude, on top of being a student athlete, playing football, he had a night shift job. It wasn't like night shift, it was probably like mid. He did all, you know, he probably worked from like 4 to 10. I don't know exactly what his hours were. But he would do like some custodial work, housekeeping. He'd do housekeeping work around the campus. And then I'd usually see him late at night in the 24-hour lab, which was, I think, one of the best parts of college, was having the ability to go to this computer lab 24 hours, and it was connected to our dorm hall. So, you know, me all day, the guys, most of the guys on the floor seemingly did not have their own computers. So I think it'd be pretty funny how, I mean, this place was usually pretty empty, and the later on it got in the night, you know, 9, 10, 11, you'd have more and more guys rolling through trying to get their stuff done by midnight from the floor in that computer lab. But we were out there doing, you know, homework together, the camaraderie of like brushing your teeth in the morning before going to class. We were listening to Migos music like way before they were like mainstream. This is like, I mean, they got big in 2016, right? We were listening to them in 2014. Not that it's much, right? But we were on that stuff since the start. Some pretty nice views I just wanted to kind of highlight here. But all day also, this dude was probably unanimously one of the nicest guys that anybody would have met. He was that cliche, not even cliche, but you know, I just feel like everybody's got that one guy that everybody loved him. He was such a nice guy. That literally was him. I don't think that there's anybody that could find a reason to dislike him. I thought he was super caring, a great friend for everybody. And I got the privilege of, you know, living with him as a freshman, which is an important time in people's lives, because I mean, there's schools that have low freshman retention rates, you know, where maybe they only bring back 70% of people, and it's kind of like an important time in your life where you want to succeed, and you got to be around the right people, and you know, so I think it's a super important time. And we didn't live in the same hall after that, but you know, we kept cool. And I mean, I literally would be excited just to see this dude, like, whenever I saw him. I remember something that And I'll tell you what, like, when it comes to giving people their flowers, all right, I feel like this was bogus to me. I remember one time, it was like a homecoming football game. We had graduated already, and I was debating about going, and I was literally only gonna go if all day was gonna be there. Like, that's how I was like, man, I'm just gonna take it if he's there. I text him, and he called me out, and he's like, bro, you only gonna go if I'm there? And I should have just said, yeah, bro, fuck yeah, you know? Instead, I try to like play it cool, like, nah, man, like, you know, why? I don't know. I feel weird for that. That's a regret, you know? But yeah, this guy, he passed away. He drowned. And, you know, it was one day when it was 5 years ago. And I'm just seeing online that there's like this report that in Wisconsin, at a lake in Wisconsin, he was with, I don't know what happened. I'm not going to delve into that, but he was with people from that college floor, right? Second Lindy. The reports say that he jumped into the water, instantly started struggling. They recovered his body the next day. Alright, I'm over here at the corner of Lake Las Vegas and Lake Mead Parkway. Now, we've ran the full extent of Lake Mead Parkway from here to the highway entrance throughout a series of videos. If you want to check that out, look at my East Lake Mead Parkway videos, Calico Ridge videos. They're all out there. Over on this way is where we're going to run right now while we're continuing the story. Here's a sign for Lake Las Vegas. I just feel like for a great guy, you got to have some good landscape to look at while listening. But my job that I had from right out of college was being the quote-unquote aquatic specialist at the school where Jalen Brunson went, NBA champion, bantamweight champion of Risen, Danny Sabatello, NFL quarterback Aiden O'Connell. I was doing the aquatic specialist stuff there, and what that entailed was I would teach the freshmen how to swim. Essentially, there would be a I'm gonna get on the road here. So we got houses. I'll stay on the sidewalk. We got you got about 1,000 freshmen at the school, and with those 1,000 freshmen, I had a bunch of senior leaders, like certified lifeguards, certified water instructors that got their certification through the school. I helped with that a little bit, but it was me and these kids, and we would test all the freshmen according to the American Red Cross Level 3 swim proficiency test. And this test was designed to pretty much see if you could survive in a survival situation or not, where you had to get to shore, swim a certain distance, stay afloat, all right? And I used to like oversee the leaders and do the testing. After COVID, 2021, right? There was no leaders. We were not able to certify any of these kids to continue helping with the program because they weren't allowed to get in the water during COVID restrictions, even though the water polo and swim teams were, right? So I had no support. So it was just me testing 1,000 freshmen every year for 3 years until I quit. But I worked from period 1 through 8. I'll test a certain amount of kids from each class every day. I did it for a long time until I finished. Then those that did not pass, which is about 50% always. About 50%. I gotta tie my shoe. I'm gonna stop to tie my shoe. About the 50% that did not pass would then be put into swim lessons. Now, in those swim lessons, that's where I taught these kids how to swim. Now, I used to have pool leaders, right? The senior leaders that will like take groups of kids and teach them, swim stuff for 4 weeks. And then they would do the test again and see if they, improved, which a lot did, 75% would. But after we didn't get those leaders, it was just me teaching a PE swim class. I had, groups of 40 kids, periods 1 through 8, teaching freshmen how to swim. And I was doing it, my heart was in it for all day, because for whatever reason he drowned, because maybe he didn't know how to swim, didn't know how to float. I don't know what happened. Now, you can't save him, but I felt like, hey, I can really help out these kids in their futures, in their families, and, spare them of the tragedy that can happen at an instant in a body of water. So I really dove into this stuff, and I really cared, and put together this swim program, worked like a dog doing a program that was designed for me. Okay, I don't like the fact that I am on this trail, because I'm not really seeing the road. And we got a tunnel over here. Let's see what are we talking about? All right, where am I going? Okay, so I was totally doing this job, and I think this is just a way to start going back. So over here, and we got a continuation of whatever there is over there, and wouldn't be opposed to, let me see if I can get back in the street, and I'll continue on this way. I was just kind of intrigued by what that tunnel was. I didn't know what was on the other side. Alright, so back to it. But yeah, I mean, when you look into the research, I lived in Illinois, right? So there's the Chicago Playpen, which is what they call this area of water, crammed area of water in Lake Michigan, where these dudes got their boats out there, and people die there. People get into just accidents, things happen, right? And when I'm trying to teach these kids, right, 14 to 18 years old, it's all right, right now, where are you swimming at? Swimming at your friend's house, you got parent supervision, you're swimming at the water park, there's lifeguards, right? Right now you're swimming at school. You're swimming in places where there's people kind of looking after you, that got your back, all right? But I'm gonna try to just jump this fence. Nah, this could be dumb. Nah, I'm not gonna do it. I was gonna try do a jump onto the post and over, because I don't want to touch it, but I'll just run around. But when you're older, you don't have that parent supervision, lifeguard supervision maybe. there could be alcohol involved. You could have consumed a couple drinks, and now maybe it's a hot day and you're like, oh, let me just jump in, right? Like, you just don't know. So I was trying to teach the bigger picture and had success with this by the numbers. There was proof. Now my boss, he was a jerk, he was a liar. He was telling me, he's like, theoretically, doing this PE pool stuff, right? I was doing the full work of a teacher for going on for 3 years, going on 4. And I just asked, hey, now I was also probably one of the lowest paid guys in the school. Because my job title, right, it was not teacher, it was aquatic specialist. And it was considered support staff. And during this time of inflation, all the secretaries, all the locker room attendants, all the security guards, they were able to get a raise. And I was just kind of saying like, hey, you know, I'm probably the lowest paid employee at the school right now, and I've been doing the work of a teacher. Let's be real. Can I get a $5 raise? $5 raise. I said $5, or a different job title, right? Like, just, can I just be called like aquatic teacher? What else did I ask for? I asked for, I just jumped that fence finally. So there I am. I might start running back though at this point. There's like the sign for Lake Las Vegas. Yeah, we'll just head back in. I never got like an interview shot at being a teacher. So it was just kind of a dead end. And I realized that I was the guy that cared the most about swim. Like, the school, you know, they didn't really care. So what I ended up doing was putting together a presentation for IAFERD, which is like the Illinois Health and PE Dance Association, something like that, right? It's a conference that I would attend as a college student, as a professional, where you can kind of learn things about teaching. You can learn things about teaching from other teachers or professors or, you know, whatever. It used to be at Pheasant Run in St. Charles. That place literally burned down though now. It's gone. And the new venue of it stinks. But I think it's in Tinley Park now. But bottom line, I put together a presentation where I literally, I put out all the data of the success that we had with this program, all the documents that was used for the whole process, the process of training your lifeguards, swim instructors. Like, once you have that, here's what you can do with it. If you have a pool, right, you could be doing lifeguard and WSI. And in turn, you can build a program like this where you're teaching your freshmen how to swim. And I laid out the whole blueprint for this. I put in so much time and effort into this independent project. And it was low-key, it was virtual though. I just submitted it. I submitted it as like a presentation for the thing. It got showed. It was accessible for the people that wanted to see it. So it's out there. Is anybody doing it? I don't know. Did anybody watch it? I don't know. But I did all this stuff for all day and just trying to help out with stopping drownings. It would have been, I'll tell you what, YouTube, when the seniors couldn't get certified, it would have been real easy just to stop the program. We don't have the manpower to support this anymore. We can't do it anymore, right? I would have just been like an assistant for the lifeguarding stuff, for the WSI. It was like it was me that was keeping this thing going, keeping it alive. Low-key never even got a shot to be a teacher, never got an interview. After that boss had told me years before, hey, like, there might be some opportunities where you can gain a lot of teaching experience and interview then. But whatever. I ended up working at a country club as their aquatic manager. I did that for a little bit. And then I got into sales. I did my time. I think I did my time. I think that I've impacted or helped out to the best that I could in drowning and water safety. I mean, we didn't even hire him. He came from the goodness of his heart. There's one dude, David Benjamin. He almost drowned in Lake Michigan. He goes around to schools telling his story. We would bring him in day one, so that way kids kind of understood, like, hey, here's what we're doing this for. Here's why we're doing it. And we would teach them pretty much the goal was one stroke on your front and one on your back, right? Breaststroke or front crawl, you got it. You should be proficient in one of those. That way you can move going forward. And you should be proficient in like the elementary backstroke or the back crawl as like a resting stroke. And you should like know how to float, and you should know how to tread water. Like that's what the goal was in teaching these kids in 4-week classes pretty much. And then we would have them do that swim test again, and again, these were kids that failed it the first time. 75% will pass. Now the school has condensed it down. They hired some dude that wasn't even certified. They don't do the Red Cross test anymore. Now they just jump into the water, try it and swim across, call it a day, do a one week little swim class for those that didn't pass it or want to do it. I don't even know. It's not my thing anymore. As I said, I've done my time. I miss all day. He's a dude that was just, again, super supportive, hilarious, great football player, super hospitable. I'll say, you know what? If I'm on, just to get this point across, if I'm one day either, there's kids, I'm going to switch this camera. There's a day where, I'm going to heaven, let's say. I would not mind if it was all days dorm room, okay? Like, if that's what I'm seeing as I'm transitioning, if I'm being welcomed in, I feel like he's a dude that, I want to be welcomed in by. Him, my friend Tim, Coach Boochek, my cat Mousy, 100%. And I would not sweat it if it was the college dorm room. That would be super cool. Super fly. Those are some of the best times of my life. Was being in college. There's a shirt, Concordia football. Some of the best times of my life. Some of the best memories that I made. Was with this guy as an 18-year-old in college. And again, like a dude that we would party with. A dude that, stayed connected. And it's crazy enough, too, is that his mom had passed away before him. Just like, I think like a year or two beforehand. Sad story. He would have done great things. He did do great things. And that's all I'm going to say about it today. Again, if you're give them their flowers. Give them their flowers. Let them know how cool they are, that they're the bomb. Saying it's done. I wouldn't wait until they're gone. And all they knew, they thought he was cool. I know, like my mom met him at the football tailgates. I know that she felt good that I had a good friend like that. Which again is super important in a big transition year of your life. Alright, YouTube. That's all I got today. Here's like the entrance of the sports club again. We did a full there and back. But I just felt like this was a good day, and it is the day to talk about a legendary guy like all day. Best of luck, health, and happiness. Take care, YouTube.